So there we go. We're recording now. So really kind of keeping it focused on the one book, right? I know we all have multiple books and stuff. Please stay focused on one book so we all have we get around a chance for everyone to have an opportunity to say what their book is and hopefully what has inspired them about that book to share it today. I'll go ahead and kick it off in true fashion here. We're just going to pass the baton as we go, and we'll keep the wheels rolling. Most recently, one of my engagements has been, oh, I can't even see it, is The Greatest Secret by Rhonda Byrne. And I'll put the information in the chat here in a second. I think, anytime I'm reading something for myself anymore, it's all about how can I develop my mind better, right? How can I better develop my mind to stay strong in what I'm doing, right? The conversations we had at HR Roundtable were centered around some of this, like how do we stay disciplined in the things that we need to stay disciplined in without letting the distractions in. And The Greatest Secret by Rhonda really kind of talks about how some of those things can come to fruition, right? How our minds can stay focused on the things that are out there. And so that's what has inspired me about the book. I know Tim knows, as my mentor and coach in the business, that my focus is probably the thing that is the worst, right? Because I see squirrels all the time, right? So I'm going to pass the baton off to Darcy.
I knew you were going to do that. Why did I know you were going to do that? All right. I think, like you said, Rodney, there's so many that are probably sticking out. One that I keep going back and listening to is Grit by Angela Duckworth. And I think as I was kind of thinking about what to say about the book, I think most know it, but that idea that one, power, passion, and performance. So love what you do, right? You're going to get so much out of it, and everybody around you is going to get so much out of it. But then that statement of the key to outstanding achievement isn't talent. And I think parentheses talent alone, because talent will get you quite a ways, but a combination of passion and long-term perseverance. And I think about that in the job search process. And many on the screen here are coaches and have certainly gotten to know me. You've got to wake up with a little bit of grit because it's a bit of a grind right now. And so that's my lesson myself. And I would highly recommend Grit if you haven't read it or listened to it.
She's got a lot of great TED Talks too. Go ahead and pass the baton, buddy.
I'll pass the baton to Mr. Dave Scogland.
Hi. Well, I have a cat on my desk, so I guess the cat in the hat comes back when needed. My book that ties very much into, and again, it's hard to come on focus. Well, the heck with that. The book is a 23 bestseller by Alvin Levy called Theo of Golden. If you haven't heard of it, it fits Coffee Connect really well because it's about the power of creative generosity, the importance of a purposeful life, and the invisible threads that kindness help to bind each other together. And over this last month plus, it's that and Mitch Albom's most recent book, Twice, if you haven't seen those. If you just need kind of a pick-me-up, both of those would be perfect for you. Oh, I get to pass, huh?
Yep.
Let's see. How about Julie?
Hello, everyone. I got a cold. I was yelling too much at Flying Pig, so. My book's kind of a different one in that, and I just recently had this, in that I love audiobooks. And it's Jodi Picoult. It's By Any Other Name. It's kind of a historical romance is the best way I can categorize it. It was from 2024, and it's a dual line of present day and past, about two playwrights. And the one playwright, in that her supposed family member has been credited as being the author of a lot of Shakespeare's plays. And that a lot of people have had this issue of Shakespeare couldn't have possibly written all the plays that he wrote. One, he didn't go to half the places that he's writing about. Too, he wasn't that much educated and stuff. He actually was jailed a couple times for not paying people and different things and stuff. So he was kind of a shady character. And so it interwoves historical references along with present day references, and kind of the, women don't have a say in the playwright world back then and even now. I just like how it jumps back and forth in time and some of the historical references they put into it. And audiobooks, I tell you, you get to a place and you can't like turn off the car because you got to go and listen to the next part of the thing before it ends. And now there's every chapter is like a cliffhanger. And the thing that I guess really inspired me is that a few moments of your life could determine your entire life. And that of like who you love, who you're allowed to be, what, uh, things hold you back, whether it's government or religion or something else, and that along those lines. So it just was kind of a fun, interesting book that I would normally not always pick. But I'll tell you, the audiobook version, I gotta recommend it. So I'll put it in the chat. And I'm gonna go and send it on to Diane Cancelas.
Well, good morning, everybody. It's been a while since I've been able to be here, so I'm glad to be here on a book day because that is my jam. I belong to the First Look Book Club, so I had an advanced copy of a book that released just last week. It is called What's the Point by Tom Rath, who was the author. He's the grandson of Donald Clifton and the author of StrengthsFinder 2.0. The subhead is Turning Purpose into Your Daily Superpower. And I even have a signed copy of this book. So I wrote it, I read it, I wrote my reviews. I think it is divided kind of into thirds. It's in alignment with strengths and using your strengths, but really understanding your purpose and how that is your superpower. And what it all boils down to is how are you impacting the people around you? So even my daughter-in-law, who's in the finance department at the Monroe Kroger facility, is like purpose. But she's making sure that the plant runs smoothly, that the employees have what they need when they need it, and that the customers are being served. So if you can reframe that. The most important third of the book as a StrengthsFinder coach for me was the final third, which was more about impact and legacy.
Nice. Hey, Dave, can you please put your author and book title in the chat, please? Diane, the same way. Go ahead and pass the baton to you.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
You're good.
How about Daniel Johnson? I haven't seen you in eons.
Thank you, Diane. Thank you, everybody. Good morning. My book is Thank You for Arguing by Jay Heinrichs. If you've not heard about this book, the subtitle is What Aristotle, Lincoln, and Homer Simpson Can Teach Us About the Art of Persuasion. And it talks about, I'm doing a speech sometime in the near future about networking and making connections. And, when you want to make somebody to listen to you or to believe what you're saying, or even just to be open to that, it requires that you use some of the wisdom of the ancients. They talk about logos, pathos, and ethos. Those are those things. The most important is ethos. And we will talk about it like that. I will summarize it to say, if people don't believe that you're part of their group or you understand where they're coming from, you're going to have no ability to persuade them to your way of thinking or even to listen to you. And so there's talking about, so when I think about networking and making a connection with somebody, the first thing that I try to see is, what do we already have in common? How am I already part of their group? And then I will move forward from that to see, oh yeah, we're also part of this group. And that's something that is very interesting for me, because that once I can see what we share in common, then we can kind of say, okay, here's what I have going on and why you should listen to me. Thank You for Arguing by Jay Heinrichs. I'll go ahead and share the link and the information in the chat. And I will pass it along to Pam Farwick.
Thank you, Daniel. Can everybody hear me?
Yep.
Thank you. The book that I would recommend, I'm focused on job transition. It's called Nailed It by Matt Marvin. He has a different way of looking at different questions they ask in the interview process. And by reading this, it excelled my interview skills. I highly recommend it. Daniel's holding it up right now.
He's from Cincinnati, right?
Yes, I believe so. And he'll be talking at Job Search Focus Group in Hyde Park next Monday, 9 a.m.
Pass it on, Pam.
Let's go to Andy Forrester.
All right. So the one I've been drawn back to reading is The Return of the God Hypothesis by Stephen Meyer. Kind of interesting. He's a PhD in science history and pretty well versed. And you know what a hypothesis is? It's basically a guess. It's part of the scientific method, right? You make a guess and then you do experiments and stuff to either confirm or reject the hypothesis. So his hypothesis thing is, where did we all come from? I mean, that's a question we have, right? Where did the cosmos come from? Where did we come from? And there's a lot of hypotheses out there, Big Bang Theory and evolution and everything. And he kind of works his way through those. And he's kind of driving towards this idea of how unlikely some of those things really are. And he gets, without getting into the math, he does get into the, kind of physics and chemistry of it, the coding that is what our DNA is and stuff. And, so really what he's driving towards is this idea of there is an intelligent design behind it somewhere. There's got to be. It's just so unlikely to have happened some other way. So anyway, it's kind of a thought-provoking book. However you feel about that, if you believe in the science, he goes into the science. It's kind of interesting. All right, Miska.
Good morning. The book, which you probably can't see, is called Brag, The Art of Tooting Your Own Horn Without Blowing It by Peggy Klaus. And Daniel's like pointing. I actually saw her speak years ago, and that she talked about this book. And this is something that I've used for myself when managing teams. Who's going to talk about you best than yourself? And I know it's uncomfortable for people to do, but she gives some really great tips on how to brag and performance reviews and interviews, and that you can use in all facets of your life. So this is a great, easy read book, Brag.
Awesome.
Joe.
Okay. I have Tuesdays with Maury from Mitch Albom. I had seen a lot of his work, both on ESPN and with the Detroit Free Press when he covered University of Michigan, Detroit Red Wings, and groups like that, or teams like that. And it's just a very different, it's a story of him and a college professor later in life, where the college professor is actually going through the later stages of life. And, it's a pretty good philosophy book as far as things, family, friends, his work, things that he found important, things that he was going to be, sad to leave when he passed, and he knew he was going to pass. And it's just kind of a very interesting reflection of a man's life and his friendship with Mitch Albom. And I just found that very interesting and thought provoking. And
I will throw it to Mr. GPT himself.
Well, as a large language model, I'm not permitted to answer these questions. So my book is, I mentioned this one in the past, Insidious by Orrin Woodward. It's subtitled The Rise of the Financial Matrix and the Fall of Economic Freedom. And it's a history of banking in its own way and the forces that have come to play on the banking system and how fractional reserve banking, or what he refers to as fictional reserve banking, has led to a lot of issues in the monetary system. It sounds like the most boring thing in the world, and it's not. And you don't realize, I didn't realize how it affected me so, and how it affects everything that it touches in horrifying ways. So it is eye-opening and concerning, and I've never read a book that every chapter made me angrier and angrier about the choices that other people made that affect me. So I want you all to be as angry as I am. And
can that happen?
Yeah, I'm an angry guy. Let's see. April, you're up.
Well, I joined late, so can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Yep, we can hear you.
This is my second meeting, so I didn't know we were talking about books, so I'm scrambling. The book that I've been reading is Rules of Self-Reliance by Maha, and I can't pronounce the last name, Obulan. I don't know if you guys can see it.
Just type it in the chat session.
Okay, I'll do that. It's about focusing over noise, focusing forward over perfection, self-investment over, external self-validation. So it helps reframe your identity, your direction, and your confidence, which is helpful in a transition period.
Okay.
But I'm not finished with it, so I can't give you a lot more than that. I'm only like in chapter 3.
All good. Thank you so much, April. We got Tim left. We got Steve. I think that's it, right? You guys can play rock, paper, scissors, see who's going to go next.
Heads.
Tails.
Go ahead, Tim.
I started reading Make Your Bed by Admiral William McRaven. He was a Navy SEAL and writes about some of the lessons that he learned going through SEAL training, really how he's applied them throughout his life and his career and personal life. And it really focuses on different aspects of life and how to overcome obstacles and achieve your goals. So I recommend it. Quick, easy read. I guess I'll pick Steve.
There we go. All right. Best for last. I don't know. I don't know if anyone's mentioned that one of the older goody ones, 60 Seconds and You're Hired. A whole lot of good interview questions and answers, just thought provoking. It's like, all right, well, I hadn't thought about that one. How should I answer that one type thing? So it comes done audiobook on that. Listen to that a few times.
That was Lamar's book. He sent me that.
Okay.
So we've got a ton of new books. And so in true Coffee Connect fashion, right, we're not going to sit in this big room and just talk about big books all day. Go ahead, Dave.
I have a question. Does anybody not use a library or Kindle? I see all these links. I haven't bought a book forever because they're all available. So yeah. What's with the links?
The links go to Amazon and they can go to your Kindle. What do you?
But you can also read other people's reviews and comments on the Amazon reviews. So it's more than just the link to the book. It's if you wanted to buy it, but if you wanted to read what other people thought about it, Goodreads is another place for good book reviews.
Thank you for the explanation. I see Coffee Connect as a learning center. That's important.
And if anybody was questioning what the title was or whatever, we want to make sure it was all posted there, and they can go to the link and go, oh, okay, that's what the book looks like. The one that I just picked up is not the right one, or because there are a lot of books that have the same titles.
Well, and nobody mentioned the large print version, so Lamar and I are a little upset.
So, Dave, there's a very wise man on the call that says, in job transition, free is your favorite F word. I won't call him out on that. But one of the
That's
groups
me.
meets at a library. So yes, libraries are our friend because it's free.
Hey, Darcy, I'm sitting at the library right now.
See? Good for you, Pam.
If it's free, it's for me, baby.
I love it. I love it. I want to go back to Sharon real quick. We're going to go to breakout here real quick, guys. First of 2 breakout rooms. And I should probably show you what the prompt is so you know what you're going to discuss. Probably to no surprise that we're going to kind of go through. Feel free to, kind of give a 90-second pitch about your book again, right? We talked about these already and talk about maybe books from the round robin that you're most curious about and why, what it might be able to bring, what value it might be able to bring to you, right? I know I'm not in presentation mode, but that's okay. We'll just go with it. So screenshot that if you need to. Can you see the whole thing? I don't even know.
You can make it
You
a
can
bigger
make it in
screen.
presentation. We're seeing your PowerPoint thing. There you go. That's good.
There you go. Sorry about that. Yeah, there we go. So you can screenshot that, and then I will get the breakout rooms opened up here. And I will see you guys back here, I don't know, 10, 12 minutes. Pam must have been sick of us. She ran out of there. She was like, I'm out. See you later.
We're all back.
And we're waiting for the rest of the team. Bam. There we are. I think we got everybody. Rita, you jumped in there. We all shared our books already, and I
feel like you owe us.
Yeah. So I'll give you a minute to share if you've got a book that you want to share, and we've been.
Well, I did share a book in the last group, which is A Secret Gift by Ted Gupp. I recommended it to Jeff Hexter. It is a great book. If you haven't been reading in a while and you find the idea of sitting down to read really daunting, it's a great book to get from your library because individual chapters are very impactful. It's not necessarily like professional development, but I think it has a bit of a heartwarming story, but it's written by Ted Gupp, who is an investigative journalist. So he writes in a way that's really like sort of newspaper writing. But on a funny note, I brought this. This is the big one I wanted to bring to the table. The most famous guy in Cleveland has a book coming out. Our friend, Tim Misney, he's got a professional development book coming out, friends, called The Misney Method. And I think, it's ghost written by somebody else and they've put the Tim Misney ideas into something that's digestible for groups like this. But obviously I haven't read it because it hasn't come out yet, but I think it would be an interesting read to see what all of you think about that book and if it's effective. I did read the newspaper article about it. Tim Misney doesn't make a dime from it. The money goes to one of his charities. So food for thought.
So we got one more book. We got announcements there. So we're going to go to another breakout room.
Put that in the chat, Rita.
Yeah, please put that in the chat. And I'll get a link for it here before I send everything out after this. But we're going to head to a breakout room again. I shuffled them up a little bit. So if you don't know the people in your room, please introduce yourself or provide any updates that are necessary for those that haven't been here for a while or whatever. We're always happy to hear those. And then just share one lesson that you're hoping to gain or one of the books that you're hoping to maybe acquire from the list of books that we've talked about today and stuff. And hopefully the lessons that you think that it'll bring to you in the future. So I'll get those opened up. It is 10:48. We're going to go for about 7 or 8 minutes, guys. I'll see you back here shortly. All righty. So we're down to 5 minutes, guys. I think we keep losing some people in and out, but down to 5 minutes. And I just want to take a minute, like these last groups that we just had. I know they were it was a quick meeting or a quick breakout room and stuff, but were there any commonalities in the things that you like to learn, or what do you think you were getting from other people as far as the book? Was there a favorite in the group, maybe, or anything like that? So, group one: April, Daniel, Dave, Julie, and Steve. Somebody give me some feedback.
I want to look. I want to follow this new book that Dave mentioned called Twice. It's just kind of fascinating to see if you could do something over again, but what might you do differently, and if it would make a difference. I'm kind of fascinated by those stories.
Nice.
I am.
It's a book called Twice. Okay.
I'm excited to get even more pissed off at the banking industry. So I don't know that I can, but I will take that challenge and read Insidious.
Let me know when you read it. We'll talk.
I want to read that only to prove Jeff wrong that it's not boring.
But I said it wasn't boring. I said it angered me.
Yeah.
I loved it. I've read it 2.5 times now.
I like that. Yeah, that's one of the things I was thinking of too, Tim. I was like, if it angers Jeff, like he's a pretty mild guy. like that says a lot. Room two: Andy, Diane, Jeff, Joe, and Pam.
Well, but before you read that and start arguing about it, you should probably read "Thank You for Arguing." That's kind of that was the one that I think seems kind of interesting. That was the one that I took away, and then also the Tom Rath book, "What's the Point?" Kind of liked what he did with StrengthsFinder, so I would be curious to read that one as well. And those were the two that we discussed the most, I would say.
I like the advice as well, the choices for sure. yeah. And then Miska, Rita, Tim, and that was it. That was in that room.
I was in there as well, Rodney. For some reason, I keep clicking the wrong button today. It must be Tuesday. We talked about many things, but I think the big thing is I know that I, especially in transition, have a little more time and I need to get more focused on reading and learning. And I think Rita was the one that gave the great advice. Don't try to think you have to read the whole book. Just break it down into read for 15 minutes, read for 30 minutes. So I appreciated the encouragement I got from my group.
Yeah, I'm a 10 page a day kind of guy, right? If I can do 10 pages a day, I'm pretty excited about myself and what I get done, right? And the things that I can get out of it. My problem is I get to page 10 and I'm like, I need more, hold on. And stuff. But for sure. And I think the return of God's hypothesis, right, has me perplexed to maybe grab that and start reading it and stuff. So I appreciate all you guys taking some time to share your readings with us today, right? And just give us all a chance to learn together and stuff. We don't have any new people, so we won't have any big introductions to go off of. But I think next week, guys, is probably going to be one of the biggest attended Coffee Connects in the 6 years that we've been going. I'm throwing that out there, right? So next week, we've got Joe Bender coming back to give us another lesson on data axle. Joe, you got anything to say about it, or you want to save it all for next week?
Just basically, it's a database of literally tens of millions of businesses and organizations in North America that, depending on if you're looking for a job, if you're looking for businesses to work with, organizations to work with, whatever, you can do just about any kind of research on those. And most of these are available through libraries in the U.S. And I know Jeff Hexter says we pay for them all, but basically it's for free. So you get a library card and you can get free access to this. So it's a pretty good tool.
And whether you're
No,
in
not
job
data
search,
actual rows, Jeff.
whether you're in job
access.
search or you're an entrepreneur, solopreneur, whatever, right? You're always looking
Yeah.
for those connections to either small businesses or large businesses and stuff like that. Learning how to manipulate data, right, is a big thing, and understanding how we can filter it down to the things that we actually feel valuable to us, right, is very important. So looking forward to next week's session. I know Joe's been sharing with oh my gosh, job search focus group and stuff, right? And so I'll make sure I get the invite out as soon as possible so we can get that going. Any other last minute save moments? All right, we've got a value proposition, competitive edge discussion coming up in a couple weeks as well. Carla, who's not here today, but will be here next week. She's going to come back and she's doing presenting here in 2 or 3 weeks. And then again, we'll do Coffee Connect Chaos on the first week of June. Go out there, have a great week, everybody. Remember, I love you guys. All right.
Bye. Thank you.
See y'all.
Have a great week, everybody.
Thank you for this. I've got a bunch